B.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi, and of course our focus on the segment tonight, GST. Is it finally good spending time? Let's talk about that. We're diving into what could be the biggest economic fireworks ahead of Diwali. The Modi government's Next-Gen GST reforms, dubbed as GST 2.0. This is a massive tax overhaul that's got everybody talking. The government has simplified GST slabs to mainly two key rates, dropping several items from the 18 to 12% or 5%, whilst others see a cut from 12% to 5%, making taxes easier to understand and products more affordable. There is also a new 40% whopper for sin and luxury items like tobacco, high-end SUVs and the fizzy drinks that are of course bad for you. It has been hailed by Prime Minister Modi as a boost for consumption and growth. So is this really a Diwali bonanza, something that the Prime Minister had promised in his Independence Day speech, that puts more money in your pocket? Or is it a political gamble that risks a 48,000 crore rupee revenue shortfall?
जिस भावना को लेकर हम चल रहे हैं, उसी भावना पर चलते हुए कल भारत सरकार ने राज्यों के साथ मिलकर के एक बहुत बड़ा निर्णय किया है और बहुत महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय है। अब जीएसटी और भी ज्यादा सिंपल हो गया है, सरल हो गया है। जीएसटी के मुख्यतः दो ही रेट रह गए हैं, 5% और 18%, 5% और 18%। और 22 सितंबर सोमवार, जब नवरात्र का पहला दिन है और ये सारी चीजों का मातृशक्ति को संबंध तो बहुत ही रहता है, और इसलिए नवरात्रि के इस प्रथम दिवस पर जीएसटी का जो एक रिफॉर्म वर्जन है, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन रिफॉर्म किया हुआ, वो लागू हो जाएगा।
Well, look at these numbers. They're game changers for the aspirational Indian. Take insurance. A 30-year-old buying a 3 crore rupee term plan. The old cost is roughly 30,000 rupees with 18% GST. Now, 25,849 at 0% GST. That's over 4,500 rupees saved within a swift. A rupees 50 lakh health cover drops from 35,000 rupee premium to 29,661 rupee premium with 0% GST. Health and life insurance premiums are now tax-free, making protection more accessible for the middle-class families. Then you've got mobility. Mobility gets a turbo boost as well. Petrol cars under 1200 cc that used to cost around 7.99 lakh rupee is down to rupees 7.31 lakh rupees. An 8 to 10% drop. Bigger petrol cars over 1200 cc see relief as well, from 43 to 48% down to only 40%. Diesel variants also follow the same pattern, and bikes up to 350 cc like the Bajaj Pulsar N250, which was slapped with 28% at rupees 1.45 lakh rupees, has now come down to 18% at rupees 1.34 lakh. But hey, hold on, not everything's cheaper here. The high-end bikes over 350 cc jump from 28% to 40%, pushing a 14.5 lakh rupee ride to rupees 15.8 lakh. Carbonated drinks, which would cost you on an average about 100 rupees, will now cost you about 110. Energy drinks costing about 100 rupees will see a cost price of 114. Apparels over 2,500 rupees will see their prices increasing as the GST rates have gone up from 12% to 18%. So, what does this mean for you, the aspirational Indian out there, our viewers out there? Is this in your interest or not? A lifestyle reform as simplified slabs may free up income for investments or leisure. Exemptions on health and insurance make coverage a no-brainer. Vehicle tax cuts make entry-level mobility 8 to 10% cheaper. Lower rates on durables and electronics could lead to 15 to 25% festive sales spike. Cheaper housing materials will boost affordable housing, real estate dreams in smaller cities. Daily essentials and lifestyle items will enhance quality of life. The processes have been tweaked, like faster registrations and automated refunds. This all will ease business for the MSMEs. But then again, here's the flip side, the fiscal impact. The government pegs net revenue loss at 48,000 crore rupees based on financial year 2024 data. Opposition ruled states have flagged fears, demanding compensation extensions for fiscal stability. They say there's lack of mechanism to understand whether we're going to be compensated or not. Consensus on simplification, but questions on protecting state revenues continue to linger. And the center insists that it's not a loss. Don't call this a loss, because this is fiscally sustainable. So, with our expert panelists on the show tonight, the big questions that we're trying to decode and are asking on your interest. Will this truly boost India's buying power, turning aspirational dreams into reality? Or is GST 2.0 a genuine growth engine? Is it just a pre-election sweetener, especially ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections? With me on the broadcast, Dr. Sharad Kohli, senior economist and founder, KCC Group. Always a pleasure to be speaking to you. Many thanks for simplifying the economical lingo earlier in the day as well. Raj Kapoor, senior automobile expert, with us on the broadcast. Nitin Prakash Goyal, tax-paying citizen, with us on the broadcast here. Professor Aman Agarwal, director and professor of finance, Indian Institute of Finance. Many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast to all the gentlemen. Dr. Kohli, let me begin with you. And to simplify this for all the viewers that are watching this right now, this essentially means that there are two main tax slabs, 12 and 28% removed, now 18 and 5%, those are the new slabs. New 40% slab reserved for the sin and the super luxury items. Nearly 99% goods, currently taxed at 12%, shifted to the 5% slab. Nearly 90% goods currently taxed at 28%, shifted to the 18% slab. Daily use items get cheaper. The list is long. No GST on individual health and life insurance. And there's quite a lot of gains and administrative joy that I've pointed out as well in front of you. Help the viewers understand. Do you think the GST cuts will genuinely put more money in the common man's pocket, or will companies pocket the benefits as margins? Are you worried about that factor? Because this is a Diwali bonanza, but for how long and how soon will we actually see the effects in the market? Dr. Kohli.
Good evening, Kabir. Good evening to my fellow panelists and News 9 viewers. Very pertinent questions, I would say. Yes, it is definitely a bonanza for people. I did an off-the-cuff calculation along with my research team. Somebody earning about 100,000 rupees a month typically spends, I'm just taking an example of groceries. You know, when you say groceries, I mean, your kitchen items and your toiletries, something that you go and buy in a departmental store.
Yep.
So you spend typically about 40,000 rupees out of your 100,000. The rest goes in children's school fee, your rentals, your other stuff, your maid expenses and so on and so forth. So on this 40,000, my off-the-cuff calculation says, Kabir, that people will save about 4,000 to 5,000 rupees, because 28 comes down to 18. And this is on your routine expenses. I would like to emphasize, if you have to buy an air conditioner which needs a replacement in your house, or your refrigerator is aging away, you need to replace that, or you need to change your car if you use a smaller car, of course. Then, of course, the benefits keep multiplying. So I think it is a bonanza. As regards to your second question, when will this start showing effect as far as economy is concerned? This comes into effect from 22nd of September.
That's right.
Which means most of September is gone. We are just left with about 8 days of September. So Q3 FY26, which is quarter 3, which is October, December, and Q4, which is January, March, where we follow a financial year. So these 2 quarters will be worth watching as to the impact coming, because we get the GST data, as you know, every month on the first of every month. Now, a very pertinent question which you raised is, are people really going to get benefit? Because I think this question has come because the Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal was asked this question, and he says he's in touch with the industries, and the industries have been told to pass on. They've been asked to pass on, but the question is of honesty. Are you going to pocket this profit? Or
that's exactly true. The Union Minister goes on to say, Dr. Kohli, that I hope that the industry passes the benefit down to the consumer. And, hope lingering on really, a tricky slope right now.
Well, let me come down to that point. So what happened is when GST was launched, there was a clause on anti-profiteering, which was there. So because people were trying to make money out of GST, so that was removed. In fact, there was an anti-profiteering authority as well, which was also removed along with, because there were about 700 odd cases, complaints filed, about 4,500 worth of complaints. So government thought now the tax has evolved. I think it is high time people now don't make money out of it. So my answer to that question is that after 22nd of September, to the viewers of News 9, what you should do is you should do something which some ladies, with due respect, I have a lot of respect for females and ladies, but what some ladies do is when they buy, they go to multiple shops. They will just keep asking the price. So for the first few weeks, especially when you're buying larger or expensive products like an air conditioner or a washing machine, or you're buying a dishwasher or something, you must, or the same brand, you should go and ask at 2-3 different stores. And then you should compare with the different brands. There's one more thing which you can do. You can ask how much was this price before GST was slashed. So you'll easily be able to make out, because 10% is not a rocket science to calculate. You'll easily be, and I'll give you an example. Somebody gave me an example of this, and we worked it out. An air conditioner which is split costs you 35,000 rupees. And after this cut, ideally it should be 31,500 to 32,000. And suppose you go to a store and he says, no, GST cut is there, but I'm going to give you for 34,000. Saab, 1,000 rupees ka hi farak pada hai GST se, itna zyada to kara nahi. Those kind of explanations they come. So what you should do is the ring should be, a bell should be ringing in your head that I think something is wrong. Go to another store, pick up another brand, check out the same brand prices. So, but this mischief will eventually stop, because competition is also going to put a full stop to this mischief when it happens. So I think consumer awareness is also very important for this. And
I think, Dr. Kohli, we would need your inputs for that. If we do mount a special segment to run each day to, raise awareness with the consumers out there, how they can stop themselves from getting duped by the sellers and them pocketing this entire profit. So, of course, we're going to count on you on that particular front as well. Please finish your thoughts. Got the other panelists.
In fact, I was the one during the day who recommended to I think it was Ishita and there was another guy, Karthik, he was there. I told them that, yes, you must, starting from 22nd September or maybe a day before, you should run this campaign where we can pick up item by item, because my team has got the data. We can work out easily. I've been in the profession for 35 years of economics and tax. So we can work out, how much each item should be priced. You can just go and compare. I think the viewers, you will probably get a lot more viewers, because News 9 will be probably the only channel running this kind of awareness. Yes, but this won't go on for too long, Kabir, because tax evolves in itself. And I think you cannot keep doing this mischief for a very long time. I won't be surprised, Kabir, if there are too many complaints being received by the GST Council or by the respected GST divisions and zones. If these complaints are there, then anti-profiteering can be brought back as well. I think council will keep all options open. So I really don't think there has to be any major concern on that. But what is more important is that this is indeed a bonanza. And the best part of this bonanza, Kabir, is that 48,000 crores, if you look at the monthly collections, it's barely anything, just 25% of the monthly collection. It's a very small amount. And as the Revenue Secretary rightly said, that spending patterns of people are going to define as to how much is this. And I don't call it as a loss. And I agree with Revenue Secretary there. This is not a loss. When you're passing on, government passes on benefit to people. This is not a profit and loss relationship.
All right, so it is a Diwali bonanza. Let's not look at this as a loss, but we'll have to wait and understand what the consumer sentiment and their spending behavior is going to look like to really assess what the numbers will look like in the third and the fourth quarter. That's the essential summarization of what Dr. Kohli has told us right now. And News 9, with, of course, due help with Dr. Kohli, we will mount that segment. Let's create that awareness. With us on the broadcast, other panelists as well. Nitin Prakash Goyal is a tax-paying citizen. And let's go across to him. The same man who's made those viral posts with his Land Rover. Very warm welcome to you, Nitin ji. As a consumer, do you feel that these GST reforms are truly consumer friendly, or are these just political messaging before the festive season? 22nd of September, the first day of Navratri, the Diwali bonanza, assembly elections right around the corner, and come Diwali, there's a little bit, the air starts smelling of festivities as well. So are we going to look at fresher cars on the road, and is this really consumer friendly, the GST slabs? Nitin Prakash Goyal.
In my opinion, the government has taken a very good step. It is actually very consumer friendly, because when I am getting something better at the same budget which I have planned for any purchase, so it would definitely help me out and make my spirits high. So any which way the government, whatever has done, whether it is due to elections or whether it is due to the festive season, it is definitely going to help our economy. And whatever money goes into the economy, whatever we spend, down the line somewhere it helps our economy grow, and the entire spend passes on to the entire community, and most of the benefits are being passed to the masses. So the things which are purchased by the masses, have the GST has been reduced on that products. So it will definitely help boost our economy, and definitely we have to see whatever the spending pattern would come out. But I personally feel the people will spend more, because when you get the same thing at a discount, or if you have planned a car budget of 10 lakh rupees and you get a model of 12 lakh rupees at 10 lakh rupees, so definitely it is going to boost your spirits. You get a better thing and it makes you happy. So most of our population which caters to this segment will definitely be happy, and I think it is a very good step from the government.
I remember you were worried about your Land Rover back in the day. Am I not wrong? Am I correct or wrong on that particular front? And with that 50% now coming to 40%, maybe the Land Rover is going to be cheaper. So you can probably push that off and buy a new one as well.
See, the premium products are limited to a particular class. So and when you live into a community or a country, you have to look around for the entire, and you have to look up from a viewpoint of the entire country. So in case, even if the Land Rover would have been costlier, it doesn't matter, because there is a certain class which will buy Land Rover. Otherwise, the masses will benefit, and it is good that the general standard of our population will actually upgrade.
So as a tax-paying citizen, you think Diwali has come a little early? You feel it?
Yeah, sure. That is for sure. And I am very happy on that part, that it has come for the masses. Because most of the things which are being consumed by the masses will become cheaper. So it will definitely help buy you more things at a lesser price.
Okay, all right. Raj Kapoor, senior automobile expert, also with us on the broadcast. Raji, one of the headline reforms is the tax cut on entry-level two-wheelers. The four-wheelers are going to get a little cheaper as well, 28 to 18% now. How much of a difference will this make to India's mobility story? Come Diwali season, already we're looking towards it. Will we see fresher, brighter-looking cars on the roads now?
Definitely. I mean, anything getting cheaper is a positive, and the fact that this industry was seeing a slowdown of sorts, this is going to be a shot in the arm, and you're going to see a lot more sales during the festive season. And the fact that smaller cars are going to be cheaper is going to further fuel demand. Consumption will go up, so it will bring cheer and happiness to all.
And in terms of passing the benefit down to the consumer, sir, a lot of questions on that particular front as well. We're still a couple of days ahead of 22nd of September.
So, in the automobile industry, pricing is pretty transparent, and the manufacturers will pass down, because they're all looking at increasing sales. There's been a slump, a lot of inventory has been lying, and due to the fact that this discussion started about a change in GST figures, a lot of purchase was shelved. So there were a lot of people who are sitting on the fence waiting for clarity, and now when there is clarity, there will definitely be a huge demand. And in my opinion, maybe in the next 3-4 months, there will be difficulty in supplying the numbers that need to be.
And Raji, long term, can cheaper personal mobility, which you're telling us in the next 3-4 months, demand is going to overtake supply. through these GST cuts, will this translate into bigger economic multipliers when you talk about the personal mobility story? Could you throw some light on that front?
Absolutely. I mean, whatever the shortfall is in terms of loss of revenue, I think the demand will definitely square that off. There are some decisions here which are a little confusing, because the slotting of 350cc and above bikes for the top slab, that seems to be a tad unfair because 350cc motorcycles are not necessarily luxury items. It depends on what your usage is, and while a 100 or 150cc motorcycle could be a commuter bike for a city, if there is a need for somebody to travel intercity or intracity, a 350cc motorcycle is a far more safer motorcycle than a 100cc motorcycle on the highway. So to quantify that as a sin good or a luxury item seems a tad unfair.
Well, all right, a pertinent point that you've raised over there. Dr. Kohli, I know you do want to come in on that particular front. And I also saw Professor Raman Agarwal, smirk when Raji was talking about how the automobile industry is fairly transparent when it comes to its pricing. Professor Raman Agarwal, many thanks for patiently waiting, sir. Is this a short-term consumption boost, or can GST rationalization now genuinely create that long-term momentum? In the newsroom, many people are saying, okay, AC sasta ho gaya, but मैं कितनी बारी खरीदूं same AC? The washing machine is now cheaper, but will I buy 4 washing machines for my one household? Those are some questions that people are talking about. Toothpaste is a different commodity, but when it comes to your washing machines and larger appliances, you will only buy it once. Now, wouldn't you? TV has gotten cheaper. Maybe you can afford 3 televisions in your household. Not everybody is able to do that. So one TV, one living room, that's done now. So is this short term, or are there actual genuine long term momentum that is at play here?
You see, first of all, I am very happy that the Honorable Finance Minister, the chairperson of the GST Council, has taken a call to rationalize the GST. In fact, when the GST was introduced by Arun Jaitley, the 4 platform structure with the 4 taxes, it was a big debate because most countries usually have 2 or 1 GST framework tax. So it was always a debate that why so many slabs have been created, and that structure was that we have different segments in the society, and we would like to categorize products which will benefit or disbenefit certain segments of the society and give a relief to certain segments by keeping them under either 0 or less. So in fact, technically there were 5, 0 being 1 slab as well. Okay, now we have reduced to 2 slabs. I think that's a very good initiative which the government of India through Nirmala Sitharaman and the state ministers have taken. Now there are 2 components that I've been listening to of GST. One is the one which is a GST which is consumed by a industry in specific, or a organization which is actually buying these goods and then supplying it to the end consumer. Okay, that component which is what Piyush Goyal actually mentioned to the industry that they should consider forwarding it. But I personally believe, and knowing the industry experience for good 30-40 years now, I do not think that GST benefit would get transferred at any cost by the industry currently or even in the future. Secondly, there is one component which is the direct benefit which a customer gets while buying a product. So most of the products, if you see in the ambit of GST consumption, food, when you're buying a pizza or a burger or chapatis or roti or processed food, which we used to have also. So many of them, medicines, pharmaceutical, critical healthcare structures. Now, these are not some things which you consume on a daily. It could be once, but it could be have even people who consume on a daily basis as well. You have specifically elderly class, even younger people today. We are coming to know that people are falling off after COVID, even at the age of 18, 20, 21 years of age. So healthcare is something which is very critical to the whole framework. So GST is not only about big ticket goods like the cars or the automobiles or things like this, which are upper middle class or a rich class buys off and on. Okay, more than this actually is the Trump tariff question of the huge tariffs which are put on some of these luxury items.
Nirmala Sitharaman said that that's got nothing to do with these slabs yesterday in that press conference.
As I said, you see, even a car like Mercedes, would cost 2 or 3 times in India as against what it is in the international market in Europe or in the US. So, that is something which brings down cost for some of these heavy ticket items than actually the GST component. But as I said, this particular component would give relief to people, not in the short run, but in the long run.
Okay.
We will see an immediate impact from 22nd of September 2025, because this is something which a producer who is selling to the end consumer is not paying out of his pocket. It is a tax on the product. So the price, if remains 10 rupees for a Colgate toothpaste, still remains to be 10 rupees for the Colgate toothpaste. But with the GST framework coming in place, there would be a differential which the customer will benefit from, effective from 22nd September 2025. Please understand, as I said, the internal GST benefits will not get transferred, because firstly, the industry will have to calibrate the effective cost of that. Secondly, the industry already is going through a sluggishness and impact of what is happening across the globe in the last 2-3 years, specifically after COVID, where the industry has not been able to make excessive profits out of the gain. So they would like to cover up the cost, use that excess money which they have got to actually expand their operations and reach out to more markets instead of giving those frill benefits to people.
So, Professor, you're essentially saying when it comes to this internal displacement of that revenue, there's going to be less transferring of that benefit right down to the consumer.
There would be hardly any transferring. Let me put it point blank.
Okay.
That is why Piyush Goyal actually brought this up before the government, before the industry, and not only Piyush Goyal. I was in a meeting where Arun Jaitley addressed the FICCI, and after that I was with the industrialists, about 18-20 industrialists met him immediately after he finished his budget speech, and then he addressed the FICCI in Taj, and then I was in that meeting.
Many thanks for throwing that into light, Professor. Many thanks, because when you start peeling down the layers of this double Diwali bonanza, you then understand what is going to actually get transferred. Now, I've completely run out of time here. Dr. Kohli, coming to you for the last 20 seconds. We need to understand fiscal federalism as well. States have been coming out and saying that, how are you going to safeguard our revenue? How will we look at our budgeting now? We'll have to, change that budget. That's going to throw our house out of order. Are those arguments credible when they're coming from the opposition-led state governments? Not a lot of time here, my apologies, but do throw some light on that.
No worries. I'll keep it very brief. Arthur Laffer theory says that every time you cut down the taxes, your collections do take a bump for a short while, but they eventually climb up. I think that is the only answer I like to give to the states.
Okay.
That yes, there might be a temporary bump, but eventually with the increase in consumption, the demand, I think it will catch up. It will include in compliance as well. You will find it catching up. I don't think there is any reason for concern. And the real numbers, we'll have to wait from 1st of November. When the October full numbers come, we will know where do we stand.
All right. So let's wait for the October numbers. Seems to be a Diwali bonanza. A lot of mass and FMCG products that have seen this major shift. But the real impact will only be seen in October. When it comes to the automobile industry, our automobile expert says it's absolutely fine. But, Professor on the show tells us that there are some questions. Professor Aman Agarwal, he's raised some questions. There's going to be hardly any transfer when you're talking about the internal transfer of benefit. So let's wait and find out. And the biggest questions that we do need to look at right now is GST2 a genuine growth engine or just a pre-election sweetener ahead of Bihar polls? That's all the time we have for you in this edition of In Your Interest. Many thanks to all my panelists. We'll see you again tomorrow. Associate sponsor Anchor Toothpaste, नए जमाने की नई सुरक्षा.
Chandigarh, Coimbatore, NCR and Bangalore, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Raipur and Hyderabad. We've been here, we've been there, Veka's been just everywhere.
तो अपने सोने को काम पे लगाइए, आज ही कॉल कीजिए 1-800-313-1212 पर.